as you guys know, you guys are Tunehatch Featured Artists of the Week. Means we really like the stuff you're putting out, so we decided to put on an interview for all of our featured artists of the week as we go forward. Uh, and we really just want to take this time in the era of COVID where we're all in our various living rooms. And by the way, Jasmine, lovely setup there. I have a white wall, you win, to just take a moment and see what our favorite artists are up to at this time where everything else is so up in the air. So by starting, you guys just want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'll start and then I'll go on mute. So I'm Jasmine. JazzRock is my artist name. And I do vocals and lyrics, and we're Silent Fury. So I've been with the band. I started the band and I love this band. And yeah, so besides doing music, I run a women's organization that supports women in business, and a big part of that is supporting women in music. So I do a lot of events and shows to support women in music and women in the arts. So that's me.
I'm Flam. I'm the drummer and composer, arranger, although we all work together to create our music. Having a great time. We're composing a rock opera around a comic book that Victor has created called Takashi the Wanderer. And that's a lot of fun, really creative project. And we're working on an EP.
Okay, Gabe?
Yeah, Gabe, I play guitar, and I try to put together decent chord progressions for these lovely people to work with. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We started playing around spots around New York City, and it's kind of evolved. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Steve and Andrew are a great rhythm section to sit on top of, so it's a lot of fun.
Hey, Andrew?
Gabe. Yeah, it is a lot of fun playing with you guys, having a good time. Even in the short amount of time that we play together, we started playing shows. Oh yeah, my name's Andrew. I go by Gina, also, or Bojangles. You know, when this COVID thing goes out, I can't wait to play a show for you guys. This is Tune Fork, right? I'm sorry, what was it?
Tunehatch.
The name of the Tunehatch. I'm gonna look into it more. I mean, I played in a couple other bands than my previous bandmate, David Jason Steiner. He introduced me to Jasmine at this not karaoke, but open mic sort of event in Crown Heights at the Club Atmosphere. It's a cool club. Shout out to Atmosphere. But it helped to link us together, and now we've been playing ever since. And it's sort of difficult, Reese, to get like these songs down through the internet with these delay issues and whatnot. But you know, it's still fun. I'm happy we got this going.
That actually drips perfectly to the first question I had for you guys tonight. I was wondering, with the social distancing and all of us on Zoom, how have you guys been keeping up with your music? Have you been creating anything new, rehearsing? How's the input lag on that?
Yeah, I'll start. Maybe we'll just continue to go in this order. So we've actually been doing more songwriting. So as they'll all, I'm sure, agree, we spit out songs like a production plan. I mean, we're creative, you know, so we spit out songs pretty quickly. But actually in this time, Steve actually kind of came up with the idea, I think, when, we kind of got stuck and we were trying to do rehearsals initially on Zoom. We don't use Zoom anymore for rehearsals. But, we couldn't do a song. And so we thought, Steve's like, okay, let's start composing. I'm like, great, because we already, as Steve mentioned, have been putting together songs for a rock opera to support a comic book called Takashi the Wanderer, which is a post-apocalyptic story. Now we've written at least a handful of songs for that story. So we've actually taken the time to write songs, to think about our band as a business. I'm a business person, Reese. So, that's really important. And for us to be able to come together to kind of make decisions to produce an EP, make decisions on where we want to take our band. So I personally think it's been a really good time for us to develop as a band. Steve, you want to go ahead?
Sure, I'll add to that. Yeah, it's been really exciting to compose, and we've really been developing. Actually, this has allowed us to develop a style of collaboration that we're working with together. You know, putting our individual pieces in and crafting the shape of the song, and you know, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. And it's, you know, it's fun and easy to get together in a room and just jam with a bunch of musicians. But then when you've got to, you know, when you got to make something happen and create something new, you need to take away the distraction of, well, what are we going to play? And we're all here and we can all just jam. So now it's like, well, we can't just jam. Yeah, we're using a program called Jam Kazam, which is, you know, you have to figure out how to configure it right just so that you can play together. It's not just perfect. It is not perfect. In fact, you can't really effectively play live all together like you can in a room. It's close, but it's not really there. But it's allowed us to have to do something, which is the composition and the crafting of the songs. And we've gotten into much deeper musical rehearsals, and that's been fun for me, actually. I get to count it out.
Yeah, I found this to be a really exciting time to just evolve in my craft and learn as much about music as possible. Because, you know, in normal life, you have all these things preventing you from doing that. And those things have disappeared overnight. So it is a fantastic opportunity just to expand your knowledge. And I've started to play around with like electronic music production now and a whole different side of music just because we have this time. So it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, there's a good opportunity for us, like Gabe's saying. I want me and Gabe to make more music. We got these Focusrites, and it comes with Logic. And I've used Logic before, and getting a music production degree, it's a good program to make beats and make music. So we got to use that. So it's a good thing, the COVID. It helps us learn more ways to make music. That's the only good way COVID is helping. Screw COVID otherwise. Hashtag.
All right, we have hashtag screw COVID out otherwise. I love it. Yeah, I really see what you guys are saying in regards to that. Just having the time that we never realized we had when we were so busy all the time. Now it's a lot harder to be busy. How you use your time is just massively indicative of how things will go tomorrow. So have you all been artists since childhood? We can just do a show of hands here. If you've been an artist since childhood. Okay. And then some in-betweens. We can touch more on that.
Oh, well, all I want to say is I've been writing poetry since childhood. So it's hard to say, is that an artist? And then I came into music. So that's how I started.
So, yeah, if you did start early, even if it was poetry and something that just led you to find that passion.
Yeah, I mean,
what got you turned on?
I always wanted to get into music. I always loved music and appreciate it, you know, but I've always been a writer, and, you know, I've had books of poetry published I was like 8 years old. So I've been writing poetry a long time. It's just natural. I actually went to school in England for it. You know, I studied Shakespeare, so I love the word, you know. So yeah, so for me personally, you know, I always wanted to get into music, but I was my parents didn't support that. So when I had the opportunity to do music, I actually started with guitar, and realized after about 2 years that that's not really my thing, and I kind of fell in love with singing. So.
Oh, nice. Sorry, Reese. I'm being introduced to this. I didn't know. Yeah, you lived in England. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, Andrew, we could chat for hours on that, believe me. But Steve, Steve, I'm going to go to you on.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up the son of two world-class opera singers, one of whom had a career at the Metropolitan Opera. So I grew up with music and with acting. I have an acting degree and done some Shakespeare as well. And always been involved in music, always been involved in singing, and probably past, 30, 40 years been developing a system of body awareness and diaphragm training and singing vocal pedagogy that I've been teaching lately in workshops and privately. And then, of course, there's being a drummer and being part of this band. So that's my double life. I've got other lives too. I just, it's just a lot of fun to take all of that musical knowledge, experience, and really use it to help the band craft what it is we're trying to accomplish. And it's actually so exciting to do this rock opera because it's a sci-fi rock opera, and I love sci-fi, so I'm having a great time with that. I can't wait to get a group of songs that we feel covers the story points, and then craft it and create an overture, and that's just going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, similar to Steve, I come from a family of musicians, and it's always just been something I've grown up around. Although it kind of came and went for me a bit growing up. I played violin for a few years, but that never quite stuck. And then I got into guitar a little later. But it's always just been one of those things that's around. So yeah, it's in the blood.
Andrew, we want to hear about your artist development.
Yeah. Just unmuting. I came from a music family sort of too. I mean, I've been doing it from a young age. I wanted to play drums when I was like in third grade, but of course that was taken. Everyone wanted to play drums when you're in elementary school. So I played the trumpet, and I played that through high school and stuff. And we had our own band and battle of the bands and stuff. And we played Superman by Goldfinger. And like in high school, junior high, I learned to play bass as well. So I was playing trumpet and bass with my band and stuff, and we kept doing that. And then I learned how to play the bagpipes after like late high school. And then in college, I played double bass with the symphonic band at Queensborough Community College. And then I played in various bands until I met Jazz and everyone, and we're playing together now. Playing the bass. That brings me to where we're at. Thanks, Reese.
Great, thanks, Andrew. Now, God, I'm not even sure if this is a question you can answer, just because you guys have so much originality in everything that you do. But who are your personal musical influences throughout all of this?
Okay, I'm going to start. I actually feel like I was born in a symphony hall. My mom was on the board of Handel and Haydn Society in Boston. So I remember being extremely young and being dragged to symphonies every Friday night. So I have an affinity and a total appreciation for classical music as my first love. And then I went from classical music to being like completely into metal. And it's funny because when you talk to metalheads, there's a stigma, but a metalhead understands that metal is just classical music, like on steroids. So, so those are my first kind of two loves. And, now I've really grown for my appreciation of different music. And when I started to learn how to sing, I really started to study actually jazz female musicians, jazz singers, because I love their sound. It's like strong, it's sexy, it's emotional. You know what I mean? So for me, I some days I listen to like all jazz female singers, and then other days I'm listening to only like Bruce Dickinson, Rob Halford, Dio, all metal singers that I think are ridiculous. And like my goal, I have a very far-reaching goal, is to get to those levels, you know. So that's me.
Yeah, wow, it's hard to say. It's really been a lot of the situations I've been in that have given me experience with music. Of course, I grew up in a household of classical singing parents, so there was a lot of that happening, lessons and singing classical music and experiencing it on a lot of levels. And then, show tunes and pop music and rock and folk. And I mean, we played and sang everything. So, and from a very young age, I was doing that, pretty much just almost before I could speak. Uh, anyway, but listened to a lot of rock music in my early teens and played guitar for a while. But influences, who would my influences be? God, I listened to a lot of, Beatles and Stones and Yes, and you know, it's just everybody. A lot of blues. Uh, been really getting into jazz a lot more lately. I listen to jazz here and there. Staying in the Police, certainly. I love what they do. This fusion of styles is so great. And you can get three styles together like that and really put it out in a very strong, compelling way with great musicians. It's just wonderful. So I try to mix and fuse styles in what we're doing so that and make it exciting and move people and be uh, sometimes uh, unconventional and surprising in the music. That's my favorite thing to do. I think that makes things exciting. But I can't even tell you who my influences are because there's so many. I mean, people to ask me who's your favorite drummer, and I'm like, well, I can name 100 people. Oh, which genre? There's a lot, 30 or 40 in each genre. So, who have been influences? I mean, how do you? Everybody. I guess I would say for rock, it would be Stuart Copeland. So, I'll go with that.
Yeah, similarly I grew up on a lot of the blues and classic rock stuff. It's just it's part of such a big part of the American songbook or the world songbook, I guess. But then lately I've gotten really into like Miles Davis and albums and John Coltrane and the jazz greats, just because they take playing their instruments to just this religious level. It's really incredible to listen to. Um, and then there's some really fun, like jazz funk bands around now that I get really inspired by. Um, like the band Wolfpack is really cool. Like there's just the funkiest stuff, and it's a lot of fun to listen to. Um, so yeah, just everything. I love jazz, blues, funk, that kind of stuff. John Scofield.
Cool. Good stuff. I like Peck too. Wolfpacker, however you pronounce it with a V. I like hip hop music too. Like the 90s sort of style era, early mid 90s, like New York City, snare and cymbals and bass boom bap. They call it um like Mobb Deep and Biggie Smalls, and I think it put a vibe on my music too. The way I like to make music, like sort of like like gritty sounding, like a little bit raw. And I like Primus a lot too, because he's has all these styles, so unique. And, he brings them all together to make this heavy groove, fast-paced metal sound. So give it up to Les Claypool. I give it up. I gotta keep giving it up. And that also brings me up to like now, like I like Slightly Stupid a lot. That's a reggae band, and they're heavy in bass with the dub. They use the backbeat to make a lot of solos and catchy riffs. Slightly Stupid. They're a really good band. That's Kyle McDonald and Miles Dowtree. They're really good. And I like what Steve was saying. I mean, because a lot of drummers have influences on me as well. Like the great Neil Peart. Give it up to Neil. Who is it? Keith Moon from The Who. Insane. Even like John Densmore from The Doors. And I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. But they're not even like the greatest ones. Although the Who are really good. Just to have a big influence on like playing the bass. Like I want to play a lot of the rhythms that the drums play. Yeah. Those are the main influences. Let's play pool. Thanks, Reese. What else are you doing?
Definitely seems like Silent Fury's influence ranges from classical to metal to pretty much every genre aside from Christian rock. That's the only one I didn't really hear. Jasmine has Christian rock on her.
Oh, no. So one of our songs, I don't know if you've heard our song, My Song for God, which actually has had a lot of good, Steve's holding up his cue card. So, so My Song for God, I wrote this song in a church, Reese, and it's getting a lot of support and interest right now. So, no, add religion to the mix, please.
Add religion, so literally everything. So with all of those influences, I'm going to do a challenge. I'm going to make it 3 words. Describe your music.
Okay, I'll just give you 3 genres. How's that? Punk, grunge, and progressive.
I'd have to add metal in there. A lot of our stuff has very heavy metal influence. I think that the effect is that it's progressive, because how do you take punk and grunge and metal and do all these different kinds of mixes of it that we do, even adding some blues and jazz and rock, reggae, sometimes everything. I mean, you just have to say progressive because it's just too many things.
Oh, sorry, you caught the traffic going by me. 3 words. Oh, we're just having fun. Can those be the 3 words?
Absolutely.
There we go. Yeah. Just having fun is definitely 3 words. There we go. Yeah.
Is that the new band name, John? Jeff, just having fun, Jeff.
I got a good 3 words, Steve-O. We're the we're the Rowdy Rebel Arousers. 3 words, Rowdy Rebel Arousers. That's Silent Fury. Rowdy Rebel Arousers.
I like that.
I like that too. So we got a lot of stuff about you as an artist. Is there anything you do when you're not writing music? I know it sounds like you always are, but
I'll start when we're not writing music. Well, I'm so busy, but so yes. And you know what's funny, Reese, is everything that I do that I'm building right now. I think that I'm building an empire in my world in business. But everything that I do, I always look back to what we're doing in music, and I try to fit that in or learn from what I'm doing in building my business to support music. So I try to never lose sight of music, because I run a digital marketing and media agency. I run a women's organization, which is now expanding into a member organization. I produce events. So for me, I just try to keep music involved with everything that I do because it keeps me happy.
Great. Before we transition, I'm going to have to take a 2-minute pause. There is a stranger at my door.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, I've been murdered. Have fun.
All right, we'll wait.
Sorry for that.
That's okay.
Should I just start answering the question? And
Yes,
If you
Steve,
feel like you
answer.
can, perfect.
yeah, okay, you do your thing and I'll answer the question. Well, I have my, my voice teaching business, which involves this system of breath support, body awareness, and vocal pedagogy that I teach and also develop as a system in of itself. And what else do? I write comedy. Sometimes I do some stand-up comedy. I have quite a bit of experience as an actor and a singer. Some in plays, some in musicals. So I bring all of that to our experience writing a rock opera. And being a drummer takes some time too.
Yeah. In my, I guess you could call my time not playing guitar free time, although I consider it the other way around. Um, I work in sales and marketing for a education company. So that's how I would pay the bills until we can turn music into that thing, hopefully, maybe at one point. And education is such the process of learning is so valuable. And I think music has taught me so much about that. Learning and understanding ideas and progressing. It's a really universal mindset that can be expanded to just about anything. So, yeah, well, long story short, music is, I guess everything is music. Music is everything. Universal skills. There we go.
Oh man, I like how Gabe looks at music too. Like I want it to be my number one, and the rest is like hobby. My hobbies. Music is the greatest communicator. Brings us out of whatever feeling we're in to express it. Oh goddamn, music is so great, so immense. Thank God we have it. This is like one of the biggest things that's getting me through COVID, and it gets me through life every day. Otherwise, thank you, music. Give it up to music.
Give it up to music. So it seems like we have a woman starting an empire, a philanthropist, and an educator, and all of that coming together into one band. Really diverse group, which is fantastic. What does being an artist mean to you?
Okay, I'll start. That's a great question, Reese. I like that one. So I know a lot of artists and I know a lot about art. And art is such a loose term, a term that gets, perceived in many different ways. Like if we were in my favorite period, which is like the Renaissance period, they would say an artist is a sculptor. An artist paints a cathedral ceiling. An artist is not a musician, but an artist is a musician. To me, an artist is someone who is able to use their creative skills and their talent to reach their purpose. That's what I think.
That's kind of a big question. Everybody has the ability to be an artist in their own way, I believe, because it starts with creative impulse. And I've been fortunate enough to have music, acting, and performing arts be such an integral part of every part of my life ever since the day I was born that I think I have a very rich perspective on that. And, you know, being an artist to me is just being free to express and share the joy of expression and being human in every possible way. And the more ways we can do that and share that openly with each other and safely, the richer and better this planet's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know, the labeling something as art or not art is a complicated endeavor. Because I know people who can do shit on Excel that is art. Seen some pretty badass spreadsheets. So I guess, yeah, it's being an artist, yeah, it's just doing anything. Math is art in a way, science, music, literature, whatever it may be. Okay.
Andrew, what do you have to say?
Music. It's hard to think what I was saying in the last answer. It was like it's a great communicator. The jazz was saying too. All of us were saying this. Steve was saying it well. Gabe was just saying it. Everyone. You can all.
Andrew, I think we're losing you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were going in and out quite a bit. Can you maybe stay stationary? Because when you move, we're losing you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to a good spot.
Okay. Reese, why don't you go on to the next
Spot
question?
I can do is going to be good.
Yeah.
Yep, we can circle right back to you with that later, Andrew. So
Yeah, all right.
you guys are putting out music, as you said, pretty much all the time. Putting it out to the world, which I can't even imagine how scary that is half of the time. What is your main goal to have your fans take from that music that you put out and receive from that?
Oh, I love this question. So I think the music that we put together, the lyrics that I write, definitely make a change in someone and make an impact on something that needs to be justified or righted. And so as Steve mentioned, right now we're working on an EP. And I mean, we already have the songs, but we were just kind of deciding which songs we want and production levels and all these other things. And, each song that we've chosen is something that's going to have a major impact in different industries and for different people. So I want people from the music, I want them to take away whatever they subjectively take away from it, from their own life and personality. But at the end of the day, it's to help people become free, help people move forward, help people realize things. Because I think music is like a statement, like what Andrew was talking about. One of my other influences, which I didn't even mention, is Rage Against the Machine. And if you think back to those days, I love raw music because it's emotional. It's meant to make a change. And I think that, to me, that's the purpose of the music, to help people and make a change.
What was the question again?
Love that.
What do you want your fans to take away from the music you put out there?
Yeah, I just sort of got lost in that answer that Jasmine gave. Wow, what do I want? Yeah, I think I want the same thing Jasmine wants, which is for the music and the message to come together and in a powerful way move people so that they realize things and they're willing to take action on things, or they act differently in their lives about things, and perhaps even hopefully heal.
Am I up? Okay, cut out for a second. Wasn't sure what was going on. Um, what do I want people to take away from this music? Um, in the end, I just would like to have the impact on someone and create something that can be that emotional crutch that my favorite music has been there for me over the years. Yeah, I don't know what I want them to take away. Oh, I want to listen to more of this and buy their merchandise and buy concert tickets. That's it. They can take that away.
Well, that's what Tunehatch is here to help out with. Now, it seems Andrew might still be gone.
Yeah, I mean, uh, I like that music could be is there for, when you're going through a change, and it can help you through your change, and it can impact you. They're really deep answers that everyone was just giving. Jasmine to start off, and Gabe and Steve to compliment it. Like how music can be a real good factor for when you go through a change. It can represent something that's going on and help you match up your life to get through whatever you're going through. That's sort of what music means to represent, to be symbolic, to help to enjoy life a little more.
Okay. So those are all of the questions that I have for you guys. But is there anything that I didn't ask? And is there any message you want to share with everyone who's going to be watching?
Yeah, I actually have a few things, as usual, that I want to talk about. So first, I want to thank you, Reese, really from the bottom of my heart for supporting Silent Fury. So the first time that who's ever watching this, first time that we performed at a Tunehatch show, I was so nervous. It was like insane. I thought I was going to puke. And it was just such a weird, like the whole thing, I don't know, it's just very unnerving. The whole situation was very unnerving. And they were champs. They like totally smooth, got us through it. And it's funny, that show, right? What was that? In the Manhattan Music Building, right in Times Square, wasn't it?
Right by Times Square, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because I have people saying, oh my God, like, I record everything. And they're like, oh, that was a great show. I'm like, are you kidding me? I felt like I was frozen and I couldn't even move. So like, I want to thank Tunehatch for being with us since the beginning. They've been like, I see them like sitting in the seats when we're playing all these different shows. It's awesome how you guys support artists. So that's number one. And I want to continue working with Tunehatch and supporting Tunehatch as a band, as an artist. So a few things that I'd like to talk about from Silent Fury. Number one is that we have the most amazing T-shirts and illustrations. So we have custom illustrations by Victor Rojas, who is the creator of Takashi the Wanderer, of whom we are writing rock opera for. So he actually is a professional comic book illustrator, and so all of our T-shirts, which I'm making him do for every single one of our songs, is available on our Facebook shop. So we have really cool, just very cool T-shirts. They're all different. There's some that are really for women and some for men and some whatever. So I think that that's cool. So we have shirts, and I hope people check them out. And then as a band, more importantly, a couple of very important things. So one is that we are coming out with an EP. And I think we've decided on our songs, but we're pushing for that to come out this year. Maybe it'll be at the end of the year. It's hard to say with COVID, kind of getting in the way, but it will show in 3 songs our kind of entirety of our sound in different areas. So I think that will give people a good idea of our dynamics and, kind of how we can go from end to end in music. So the Silent Fury EP is definitely coming out. And then as Steve mentioned, a rock opera, which we've been spending during COVID almost all our time writing songs for this rock opera. Our intention is to actually do that as a rock opera on stage and a true rock opera. So I've been studying like Jesus Christ Superstar and all these crazy things. So it's going to be really cool. And, you know, we are Silent Fury Band on Instagram, Facebook, and soon on YouTube. Just look for Silent Fury, but we're going to have a branded channel there soon. We're constantly putting up things, and I'm definitely looking for feedback from our fans. It's really important for us to know what songs you like, what maybe you don't like, what you think of a song. You know, we're shaping the sound. So for me, it's really important to hear back. That's it.
Steve, anything from you?
Oh, just something, anything else you mean? You mean about, well, gee, I don't know what else to say. It's, I can't wait to see what's exciting. Most exciting to me is this rock opera, I have to say, because it's very challenging and we're trying to meet the storyline points. And then Victor is creating moving picture graphics, like cartoon graphics that are going to go on a screen behind us for each song and help to describe and depict the song. So it's going to be really good show. We're going to have singers and action with, you know, staging with people, you know, and of course costumes, and then in the background with on the screen and everything. It should be very engaging. I'm really looking forward to it. You never know. I mean, maybe we'll get to Broadway someday.
I mean, everyone's basically had touched all the vital details. Just thanks for having us and spreading the good word as you do.
Great.
Likewise. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Reese. Tune Fork.
Tunehatch.
Tunehatch. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get it right.
Yeah, and we're gonna make you get it right. And now, we're gonna get a tacky soundbite the best we can. Now we're on Zoom. It's gonna be next to impossible. But let's see if we can get everyone unmuted and at the same time saying, "We are Silent Fury, Tunehatch's Artist of the Week."
Hey, Steve, do you want to count us in?
You have to count us in.
Yeah.
Okay, on three. I'll count to two, and on three. 1, 2. We are
Who's Silent
Silent
Fury,
Tunehatch,
Tunehatch's Artist of the Week.
Let's
Oh
try
my
that
God!
again.
Let's try that again.
Can we do it again?
We are
Yeah,
We are
absolutely.
Silent Fury, Tunehatch's Artist of the Week. 1, 2. We are
Silent Fury,
Tunehatch's
Tunehatch's
Artist
Artist of the Week.
Well, do it one more time. Say the three though.
Perfect.
God.
3 and a couple.
1, 2. We are
Silent Fury,
Tunehatch's Artist
of the Week.
God, we just.
Steve,
can't
why
do
can't you say 3? Let me count this in.
this. You want me to say 3? So
Yes.
we're in on
Steve,
1.
why aren't you doing
So
4?
this is a waltz then. Are we in on 1 of the following measure?
I
This is
like
the way our
4.
rehearsals go.
All right,
On
let's do
4,
4
we're
then.
on 4. So we're in
1,
4.
2, 3, 4. Then we
1,
start.
2, 3, 4.
Okay.
On
We
the
are
one?
Silent Fury Band. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We are
Silent
Silent
Tunehatch's
Fury
Artist
Band.
of the Week.
Tunehatch's Artist of the Week.
So hard to do.
Problem is there's no rhythm here. So okay.
Where's the drummer when you need him?
What right here?
Yeah, just give us a.
All right.
Anyway, perfect.
It's hard on Zoom, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would think this is kind of what you were talking about, why you had to find another tool to do your music. So that's all I have. Like I said, thank you guys so much for coming on. For Tunehatch, Tunehatch's Features Artist of the Week. You can find them at Silent Fury Band on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Perfect. And buy their merchandise. It's great, made, hand drawn. Can't get better than that. And while you're at it, buy Tunehatch t-shirts because we need to sell them too.
Well, we'll put them in the store, right?
Great.